Join Tim and Kristina Madden, co-founders of Executive Career Upgrades, on their podcast, the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. As an executive in today's highly competitive job market, it can be tough to succeed. However, with Tim's nationally recognized career advice and Kristina's mindset expertise, you can reach your full potential. Tune in to upgrade your career and get ahead of the competition.
Welcome to the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. You know, the funny thing at first, Kristina, when I started... Oh, wait. Let me get this mic over here. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get this mic. Because people are going to be like, Tim, I can't hear you. Tim, the audio is messed up.
I had a technician out here for the third time last week. You guys, I hope you hear us loud and clear.
Yes, I am talking like this the whole time. So at first, I didn't think we were going to be able to stream on LinkedIn. It said we had a problem, but hey, I just clicked the button again and now we live. So, hey, welcome to the Career Upgrades Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. My name is Tim Madden. This is the beautiful Kristina Madden, and we help people land the job and money they deserve. Get the job, keep the job, excel at the job. So if that's what you're looking for, we are super excited for you to tune in today, because today we're talking about money. Money. It's the one thing that no one wants to talk about, but everyone wants more of. So
yeah.
Excited to talk about
Ask yourself, are you comfortable talking about money? If not, you just need to hang out with us because we like to talk about money.
Well, do you know why most people have problems? We got a couple more updates, but most people have problems because they don't have a process.
No, I don't think that's the number one reason.
Well, yeah, because think about this. Imagine if you had a process to negotiate money, right? It'd probably be a lot easier. But the problem is when people don't have a process, how do they even negotiate? They're just guessing.
Big problems before the offer comes in. Mindset. Do you even believe you can make money? Do you believe that there's money in the world? Are you scared of money? Do you think there's a lack of money? There's a whole conversation around money mindset that you have to be thinking about before this big negotiation plan comes into play.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you have a plan, which we're going to talk to Tim about, this is actually Tim's expertise, by the way, the master negotiator over here. I don't even think you've ever got turned down on a counter offer before, have you?
Yeah, well, it's a lot for our clients, right? It's how well you do in the interview, and that is what we're talking about today. Okay, but let's get through some updates. Hey, we go live every single week, 99% of the time on LinkedIn, YouTube, the Executive Career Network on Facebook. Check us out. 13,000 directors, VPs, and executive inside that community. If you're looking for a new opportunity or you want to connect and collaborate, highly recommend you join that. And to our friends who listen to this on Spotify, Apple. I was just looking today. I'm so excited. Do you know why?
You guys got to tell me if I look like a ghost in here. These lights got me looking like a ghost.
Well, we have the fluorescence
look at
on.
me, I'm glowing. I think this one was supposed to warm it up. What were you so excited about?
We have 30. We got to 30 reviews on Apple Podcasts. We have 30 5-star reviews. We need more 5-star reviews. If you're listening on Apple, if you're tuning in live right now, hey, do me a favor, go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review, because for some reason, to be a great podcast in Apple's eyes, you need to have reviews. And remember, we have on our
stats.
Yeah, we have on our goal sheet. We want to be a top 100 podcast. Yeah. So help us out. Help us make our dreams come true and our goals a reality.
I think this might be one of the hardest things in business is to get testimonials and reviews.
Hardest thing.
It's so weird.
We help people get large bonuses.
But we got 2 million views on the silliest Instagram reel I saw the other day.
So funny.
Let's get those 2 million people over to Spotify.
Yeah.
We went viral, guys.
We went viral
on marketing. If you don't follow us on Instagram, it's at Executive Career Upgrades. We've got some amazing corporate humor over there. I mean, it really cracks me up. It was a reel about culture, and it said, hey, when your company tells you that things are going to get better, and it has the famous Rose from the Titanic saying it's been 84 years. I know you guys have seen that. And if you struggle being in a job where, you know, you have these false promises and you're just hanging on for dear life thinking things are going to get better and they just don't year over year, definitely go over and book a call with our team to really uncover, you know, some solutions for that, how you can target a new company that maybe keeps their promises, that has an amazing culture that you can get aligned with. And I'm going to just go out on a limb here that's obviously a popular topic over on Instagram. And when I looked through the comments,
some people tag their company. Don't do that. Don't tag your company on our.
Do it.
It was like, yeah, this company needs to do this. I was like, geez, man.
Well, he said,
some people are ruthless.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah, tag this company. So whoever that was, hey, go on over to execupgrades.com/podcast, schedule a call with our team, because you're probably going to be looking for a new opportunity soon.
And if I'm providing you any humor right now, head on over and give me a review on Spotify.
No, on Apple.
Or I mean Apple.
Sorry. Both.
All right.
So
hey, if you guys were on the freaking
yeah.
Now you guys are hearing the Ohio come out of me. Fraggin'. But if you were on the workshop yesterday, we had an amazing time. Our second Executive Career Necessities workshop, guys, we're putting those on every month. So if you felt like you want to hear the information again, or you missed it, or you had to leave early, please be sure to continue registering for those. We'll be doing them on leadership and development as well. And the first 100 days? No. Soon.
So our next event, if you're on our email list, is going to be April 25th, I believe, at 12 p.m. Eastern. We will get we are finishing it up now, so you'll be able to register later this week. That's going to be a leadership workshop, right? Everybody who follows us should attend that workshop, okay? Because we're going to give you tactics and strategies, right, of how to manage yourself, so that you could manage other people, so that those people can manage other people, right? So
well, you have to also have a deep understanding of who your competition is and ever-changing, information that changes all the time.
Plus, what happens is, you know, I come from military, right? So fortunately for the military, very much unlike corporate America, when you get promoted and you accept more responsibility, you are mandated, you go through mandated training. Of, hey, you're the first line leader now. These are the things you need to know. And maybe you're gone for a 30-day course. And then it's like continual learning is ingrained into it. When in corporate America, it's like, oh, you're a senior manager, you're a director, you're a VP, and they never hardly send you to anything. Mm-hmm. Well, so hopefully you're being sent to something.
We had 80 amazing people hang out with us all day yesterday.
6.5 hours. Yeah.
Thanks for being there. But more important, big question for you. Did you order Chipotle for lunch?
I didn't. Do you know why?
Oh my God, he's trying to starve me. Apparently.
No, they were currently unavailable. Chipotle. So, but good news. We got Modi's Tacos coming.
Oh, he wins Husband of the Award Day.
So we're in. So, hey, let's talk about money. Let's talk about money. So this topic today, okay, the art of it. First, let's talk about, what is something that you spent more money on because you really wanted it? Can you think of anything? Well, can you think of anything?
Like,
yeah, exactly. Because here's why. Yeah, but companies don't have money. The market's not doing well. This is maybe what's in people's minds right now. And it's totally incorrect, right? So
that's a scarcity. That's a scarcity mindset. That's fear that there's never enough money. There's not enough money.
Mm-hmm.
It's never enough. There's no money. Grant Cardone talks about that all the time. You're scared. Think there's not enough money out there. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying, first, I want to talk about people get caught up in these budgets, because here's what happens. I know a lot of people go on calls with recruiters, hiring managers, or etc. The hiring manager says, let's just say you're targeting $200,000, just hypothetically. And the first interview, they're like, hey, the max is $180,000. And they're like, oh man, this isn't going to work for me. And they immediately stop that opportunity. Because really, negotiation starts at the first interview. It starts when they look at your resume. It starts when they do the first call. It starts with the first words coming out of your mouth. So many things encompass being able to actually negotiate at the end, right? But what I want to say is, what's something that you paid more for recently? Well, one, a treadmill. Holy smokes, Peloton. Okay. We love the treadmill, but
no, I don't just love it. I am just.
People are going to fall over when we tell them how much we paid for this treadmill.
Apparently not, because I told somebody yesterday and they were like, yeah, that's about what it costs for
So a normal Peloton, just so you know, is like a Peloton treadmill. Okay. So right now we're talking about value, which is what you need to provide when you going through the interview process and before the interview process. So, hey, how can I provide value before I even talk to someone? Have a great profile. So if you're taking notes, hey, I have a halfway decent LinkedIn profile where I hopefully look like a professional, where the company can envision paying me $300,000. Hopefully I have a professional banner. Hopefully I have some type of executive summary saying why I'm good at what I've done and some accomplishments. So let's just start there. That's step one. You need to have that. Okay. Because they need to see value before they even meet you. Okay. Now, again, they're only going to look at this for 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay. Professional picture, looks legit, has a couple check marks. Hey, he's got some accomplishments. Okay. Now we're talking to him. Okay. But back to the Peloton. An average Peloton treadmill is like $2,500. Their new Peloton Tread Plus, $6,000. 3-year warranty, $600. Delivery, $400.
No, this really knocks Tim's socks off. And
Double the value.
It did me too. But then I was talking to people the last couple of days and told me that's actually pretty standard for like a high-end treadmill like this. It's for lumbar support and some other things. But I tell you, I was
see how she's already selling. It's got the lumbar support. It's got the the cloud technology. So hey, well, hold on. No, you hold on. Are you doing that through this interview process?
Right.
This is double the value. Are you the lumbar support? Are you the cloud technology? Are you the person who's going to go in and provide 10 times the amount of value? Right? If so, guess what? You can get twice as much in the marketplace. Sorry, I had to interrupt you for that. Because you're saying all of the reasons we paid double the price. Yeah. And people need to understand that so that they can start making sense of why I'm worth double the price.
I have a mecca of an example right now. Well, with the treadmill, just really quick to close that loop, I thought, am I going to really think this is worth it when it comes? And then I got on it and then I felt it and I'm like, oh my God. So
you have been freaking out.
I have. I'm totally like, I'm obsessed with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're walking on thin air. It's quiet, not even a tiny, that annoying, it's not there.
It's very quiet.
The whole thing is an amazing experience. But nannies.
Mm-hmm.
My new nanny is so amazing. The one I met with, and she's probably going to listen to my podcast. So if you're listening, but they're expensive. Okay. But I just had an interview.
Good people are expensive.
I just had an interview with one. And I literally, there's no way this could have happened because it went through a recruiter and all this, but she literally was.
They prepped her well. She knows how to interview.
It could have, but then she showed me her notebook because I was like, have you been on the website? And I was like, because her core values were aligned. She was ready to, dive into her goal setting personally, professionally, and financially. And then she went into all the ways. First, she dug out my pain. She's like, what are some goals of yours? Where do you feel you need the most support? What's driving you most crazy? Whatever. And so she was really diving into my pain. And then she went provided all the solutions. And by the end of
she downloaded our interview cheat sheet.
Yeah.
But do you just see, I want to,
people are willing to pay, and it's significantly more than I would have originally.
Hold on. She's skipping over so much stuff. So let's pause here for a second.
So it's done. I'll pay her whatever.
Now we're talking about the interview. So what did Kristina just say? She found out what was important to me. She did this. She had a good presentation. She looked professionally. She was talking about core values. She was talking about what we value. She was talking about all these things. That's what you need to do. If you're listening to this, if you're listening to this podcast right now, if you're driving in your car, okay, later on, okay, after we've uploaded it to everywhere on the internet, or if you're watching live, you have hired a lot of people. How many times can you honestly say you have interviewed people and you've left that interview saying, wow, they're sharp? Really? How much % of the time? Because I can tell you, I have probably hired more than most people out there. And I would say 10% of the time, 5% of the time.
How about like they've sold you, they're great on paper, they talk a big game, and then don't they're not.
Well,
the same
we're
person
not even talking about that.
I know.
We're talking about through the interview process. So remember, everything matters. You were actually so excited by you actually took the time more than 5 seconds to read her resume beforehand. It has a professional pic. You know what I mean? It's just all the things. So this isn't rocket science in getting the job and money you deserve or getting the money you want. You need to be branded like a product. You need to, and then Catherine said lumbar support. I'm with you, Kristina. So yeah.
Come on.
And then Dan said, Best advisors for moving my career forward. Dan, we appreciate you tuning in. But
Dan, go over to Apple.
No. Yeah, Dan, go to Apple and
and make sure you leave us a good review.
Yeah, go to the Executive Career Upgrades podcast. We appreciate everyone. But hey, how you handle, and then we'll get into some, tactics. But really, these are the tactics. Look professional online. If you're not in the ECU program, schedule a call with us or get some help, right? If someone's going to pay you multiple 6 figures, they're going to look at your LinkedIn profile. You better not have a grainy picture and have it nearly blank. Okay. And then during the interview, you have to know what to say.
But Tim, I didn't come to the podcast today to talk to you about my LinkedIn profile or my mindset or any of these other things. Like, when are you going to talk about how to actually negotiate?
When you can actually be in a position to negotiate. Because I asked this question after you yesterday with the people who joined the career workshop. And I said, are you positioning yourself through the interview process at a spot where you can even negotiate at the end? Because here's why. Sometimes people say things like this when they hire people. You know what? Out of all the candidates, this person's the best. We have to hire someone. Let's give her a shot. Is that how they're treating you by the end? Because a lot of hires are made this way. Out of all the people, let's give Kristina Madden a shot. Yep. Hey, let's do this. Or are they saying, hey, we need to hire Kristina Madden to run this division, department, etc. She's just what we need. Da 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 da. How is that offer coming to you?
Sorry, guys.
Okay. So how is that offer coming to you? Right? You have to know the more value you can build through the interview of actually knowing what you're doing, the easier it's going to be for you. Okay. So first, let's talk about getting our profile straight. Number 2, let's talk about having interview tactics and strategies. So if you need those, hey, we have lots of podcasts, or go to execupgrades.com/podcast because we have an interview certification program, many ways to help you. But let's say, hey, we look good on paper. We've done a great interview. Everything's good to go. Now let's talk about money. Okay. Now there are many things you need to consider when you talk about money. Number 1, you need to know market rates. This is what we talked about inside our program or our workshop yesterday, is you should have friends that are at the similar level than you. If you're a VP at mid-sized tech companies, in marketing, software, whatever it is that you do, you should probably have a couple friends that do what you do inside other companies that are similar. I would highly recommend, I know there's so many disparate, salary ranges, but hey, this is why you need to network and collaborate with other people and latch on to the people throughout your career as you continue to move the ranks. Because then I already know, hey, if I'm a VP at a mid-sized company that does this, I could easily go talk to people and say, hey, Kristina, what do you make a year? What's your comp package look like? Luke, what's your comp package look like? 5 people in similar companies. Then I could say, okay, Kristina makes 180, and it seems like the range goes all the way up to 270, and we're all doing the same thing. So, hey, number 1, know market rates. And the easiest way to do that is to talk to hopefully friends, colleagues you have that are inside the market. Number 2, understand the offer. Understand the offer. So many people are only worried about the base salary. Many things incorporate the full compensation package or on-target earnings, right?
But how would I understand the offer if I wasn't working with a coach like you, Tim?
Guess. That'd be a good way. Just, guess and wing it, what some people say. Because so many people, when offers come in, they're confused of like, I don't know what I should do because they don't know what a fair offer is. Because fair, really, it's internally too. Because
because it's so
random.
subjective.
It is. It's subjective.
Well, hang on. So what do you think after negotiating all these offers? What do you think is the number one reason that people just get only so caught up on the base salary? Is it because they really are trying to plug a financial bleed? Is it because it's like
it's the easiest value to see? They don't see like
that's a good point.
It's the price tag.
Right.
They don't see.
It's not the lumbar support.
For instance, it could be medical, and medical insurance is getting freaking insane, man. Your medical insurance could be $2,000, and if you're an executive at a company, they could pay for your medical insurance, which a lot of people easily overlook. And it's like, hey, don't overlook that. That's 25 grand a year, right? If you're making 180 and they're paying your insurance, that's 25 grand. That's significant. Hey, what about, is it profit sharing? Are there stock options, right? Are there incentives? Are there annual bonuses? So when I say understand the offer, understand the vacation, all of the incentives, because the little stuff adds up. The $500 for a car you might get, that's $7 grand a year. That adds up. The $200 for the phone, the this, the that, the that. But so many times people are just focused on base salary.
So can we actually play out like an actual, because we've talked about salary negotiation on a couple other podcasts, and I don't think we've ever actually ran like a scenario here. Okay, so let's say, and guys, I'm no salary negotiation expert, but I'm going to come up with a little something.
Okay.
Let's say,
I need to take some notes.
Like VP.
Let's
let's like VP, mid-size organization.
Okay. Taking some notes. Go ahead.
Mid-size organization, 5 rounds interviews. The person like thinks this is the perfect fit. They're loving it. It's amazing. They're real excited about the offer, and the offer comes in, let's say.
Give me the details of the offer.
This would probably be a low ball. But again, guys, this is so dependent on the company, right? But let's just say it's 175.
Okay.
Let's just say it's 175.
Okay.
Only, I say only, but 2 weeks PTO.
Okay.
Let's say they have stock options similar to like Publix.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
So let's say that's worth $30K, everyone. $30K. Go ahead.
There's a onboarding, or what do you call it? Sign-on bonus of this is sad. 5,000.
Okay.
The health insurance, you're going to get it, but it's really expensive, and it comes with like not so great deductibles and all that stuff. So it's pretty significant, whatever the low end price that would be. And did that cover like the basics?
There's other things, but that's just a very similar average offer.
Okay.
Right.
So
the numbers could
like
change a little
average here, but the person, here's what I want to really focus on here. The person is really excited about this company and would not want to risk the table, the offer being yanked from the table. So offers in, we're excited. This is the starting point, but the numbers are a little low. Would you agree there? A little.
It's all subjective.
Let's just start here.
Okay, so here's what I would say. Number one, always negotiate through email. Most of you, you negotiate through email.
Okay, so write this down because here we're going into an actual, we're walking through this.
Okay.
Negotiate through email.
So here's how you do that. If Kristina were to call me saying, hey, Tim, we'd love to have you on the team. We're offering you all these things. I would say, thank you so much, Kristina. I cannot wait to come on board, no matter how happy or not happy I am at what they offered me. Thank you so much. Hey, I look forward to come on so that we could partner together to do this. Hey, I'm going to.
That's not accepting it though?
It's not accepting it.
Okay.
You let me finish.
Okay.
So I would say, hey, I'm going to, well, what I would say is, hey, can you send me over the offer letter so I can review everything that we went over? And then I'm going to talk with my significant other. It's 12:30 right now. I'll get back to you before the end of the day. Look forward to working together. Show excitement. Send me over the details. I'll get back soon. Now, caveat, sometimes most companies, they may say, hey, Tim, we don't want to send over the offer letter until you actually accept all of the details. That's okay. Don't let this,
So for everybody listening, let's slow down for a second. You only want to do this over email.
Mhm.
You immediately want to respond with, I cannot wait to come on board. This is amazing. Can't wait to
Correct.
partner. Can't wait to partner together. Really looking forward to it. Now, go ahead and send over the offer letter and let me take a look at that and review it and
I'm
go over
going-
it with my spouse
Correct.
or whatever you want to say.
If they say they don't send offer letters because they want you to agree and
How
they don't
often
want
do you
to,
think that happens?
20% of the time, because hey, maybe HR's like, hey man, we know they're going to be back and forth. We don't want to be revising this offer letter a bunch of times. So let's come to terms now so we can send it once. It makes sense.
Okay, so let's say
Don't let
is a
this get
scenario-
sideswiped. Okay. So if that happens to you, just say this. That's okay. Let me review all the details one more time. Kristina, let me just review this with you. You said the base is 175K. You said I get 2 weeks vacation. You said I get stock options that roughly are 30K, but they don't vest for 36 months. I get a 5K sign-on bonus, and the insurance is you give me $1,000 a month for 12 months. Is that all correct? Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll talk to you. I'll get back with you before the end of the day. Look forward to working together. That's it.
Okay.
Now,
again, I want to reiterate, this is somebody who's been out of a job for a long time. They're excited about the company and they are scared, really scared that
I understand.
Okay. So
Please, the process is the same every time.
Okay.
Good news. It's the same every time. So here's what we do. Okay. Number one, I'm going to ask you questions now because say I'm really helping you.
okay.
Okay. I understand the situation. This offers for you, right? I understand that you've been out of work for 6 months. Finances are a problem, but you are excited of the company too. This is just a real world scenario.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Kristina, ring, ring, ring. Hey, the offer came in. Great. Hey, I have a question. You've met the team. You know the product, right? So before we talk about money, I want to say, hey, how are you feeling about the team, the leadership, and what you'd be doing at the company?
I love the leadership. The team seems really exciting. I really think this is going to be the home for me.
Perfect. That's great news. I'm really excited for you. Number two, hey, do you feel this is the question you need to ask yourself. Do you feel like Kristina Madden is getting a fair deal?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. What about all of these items that you have shared with me, Kristina? Do you believe not to be fair? Is that the base salary? Is that the vacation? Is that the stock options? Is that the sign-on bonus? Is that the health insurance? Or is it something else or a combination of them?
So I'm not really upset about the base. I can work with that.
Perfect.
But I was really hoping for more paid time off and definitely would like to see that sign-on bonus double.
Perfect. So we're just going to focus on PTO and sign-on bonus. Here is the exact email that we would send to them. Number one at the email, okay, is line one. I look forward to partnering together and am excited to come on board. Okay.
That's it.
That's
you don't
it.
say no more,
No
no
more.
less. So for you out there that want to, and I talk to people like this all the time, they come back and like, oh my God, I said this thing. I was in a really high reactive state. My emotions were, and oh my God, can't believe I said this. Say it again, Tim. You only say this.
Okay. You only say at the start of the email, hey, really look forward to being a part of the team and coming on board. That is your first line of the email. Okay. Number two.
Nothing else about excitement. Please
Nothing
don't
else.
overkill.
Nothing else. Number two. Hey, I just had one question, Kristina Madden. I just had a question about the PTO and the sign-on bonus. That's number two. Hey, I just had a question regarding the PTO
You
and
see,
the
he's smooth.
sign-on
I
bonus.
just had a question.
Okay.
That's all it is, guys, anyways, right? It's a question.
But first, I know you mentioned that over at that company, you're having, what are their challenges? What's their biggest challenge? Right. So I'm just going to make something up. I know, Kristina, I know you mentioned that, let's say you're a VP of marketing, that you feel that you're losing $50,000 a month in paid traffic and leads aren't converting as much as they should. I believe during the interview process, I shared with you how I've solved that problem. So we always want to reiterate when we're asking for something, it's like, hey, I had a question regarding this, but first, let me remind you of your challenges that you've been struggling with. and how much money that's costing you. Because here's the thing, in the grand scheme of things, you're probably going to ask for 5 to 15 more K on the sign-on bonus and maybe a week or two of PTO. If they have some massive problem, like they're trying to significantly reduce, think about all the problems that companies have. Likely you're going to solve millions of dollars of problems, right? So in the grand scheme of things, guys, we're asking for like a little bit more. So remind them that they have these big problems. So, hey, I know you mentioned.
But Tim, I'm so scared to offend them.
Perfect. Where we're getting to it. Okay. I'm going to show you how.
I know your guys' questions.
I'm going to show you.
Your back.
I'm going to show you how to never lose an offer, even though if you're asking for something completely disrespectful, sometimes like some of you do, and like, I want an extra $100,000 and like asking for the world. It's okay. There is a way to wrap it up. So, hey, really look forward to being part of the team. Just had one question regarding the PTO and the sign-on bonus. Hey, but first, I know you're having all these tremendous problems, and I know I can solve them because I already have. Okay. Hey, would you consider?
Would you be opposed to?
Would you be opposed to? Great words. Would you be opposed to? Would you consider giving me 4 weeks of PTO and increasing the sign-on bonus to this?
And give an actual number, not leaving it open-ended. Like, would you increase it? It's would you consider or be opposed to a sign-on bonus of $10,000?
Whatever it is.
And then give specifics on the amount of PTO you'd like.
Correct. Then
now, how often do you ever see an offer like this go to crap because somebody's negotiating? I really, because people are scared of that. Go to crap meaning like,
Here's what we say at the end. Are you ready? Here's why it won't go to crap. Kristina, here's the last line of the email. Okay. The last line of the email says, hey, I don't want money, compensation, or benefits to stand in the way of us partnering together, and would welcome a phone call, right? Look forward to working together. That's it. So at the beginning, at the
30
end,
seconds. So you send, whoop, 30 seconds later, nope, not going to happen. Okay.
Then you should have done a better job in the interview process, right?
Okay.
Remember, hey, how bad do they want you? Okay. If this is just like, oh, let's give Kristina a shot. If Kristina did horrible through the interview process, but we're like, there's no other candidates right now. Let's give her a shot. Who knows? That's why, hey, you got to be good. But remember, in the grand scheme of things, so remember, right? Number one, you have to have confidence too. But at the end, just say, hey, I don't want money, compensation, benefits to stand in the way of us partnering together. Would welcome a phone call as well.
That's in other words saying, like, if you can't accommodate my counter offer, I'm still willing to come work.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you guys have questions about that? Any questions in the chat?
Let us know. Nope. Great point. People saying great point. Great point. That's how you negotiate offers. But really, hey.
What if it was I want another 100K? How do those go on? The ones you were talking about, the disrespectful counter offers. How do those?
When we talk about bridging the gap, what we need to do if we want far significantly more than what they're offering, we need to find some big challenges that would substitute that, right? So say So
hang on. So you're confident in saying that if these offers come in low ball, you're pretty confident in saying, actually, you weren't even saying anything about low ball. If an offer comes in and it's clearly lowballed, you are confident in saying that the person didn't interview well.
Hey,
pretty confident?
Not pretty confident. No, I'd have to know the whole thing, because here's why. Some people in business, they just delusional. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, right? You're not going to get a CEO for $75K for some new founder. It's not going to happen.
What about
some people do have unrealistic expectations in business. I get it. You went on the interviews where like they want you to do all of these things and promise the world to people, and they want to pay you this much paper. I mean, it's unrealistic.
So I've been listening to podcasts where the co-hosts ask the other a lot of questions, and this is a particular topic that I'm really interested in. If you're listening, drop it in the chat. If you like how many questions I'm asking Tim, you like it. It's helpful because I'm curious about this. So,
Dan has a good question. Are you ready?
What is it?
Dude, if they lowball on you, why you want to work there? They probably don't value you.
I mean, that's my initial response. But then when you're talking to somebody again, that's like really excited about it.
Here's the good news.
Desperate.
That rarely happens. We see a lot of offers. Last week, we saw 15 offers come through. No, not one person said, oh my God, this is so low. When they typically come in low, here's what typically happens, right? they knew that this position was kind of beneath them through the interview process, meaning, hey, they knew this was like their other position, but they kept going through. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, it's not a huge shocker of, yeah, hey, I knew it came in low because they're not at the level yet where they really They need me kind of 6 years ago, but I just went through the process to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going through the interview process, right, and you know they're looking for a lower level position, build the gap. How else can you help them? Right? So think about marketing. Maybe it's like,
That's the same.
I'm going to
guys
make
go
something
when it
up.
comes
Maybe
with
you're
looking for
just
a raise when you're in a position. So when you're in a position and you're
Same
looking
thing.
for a raise, the question is
how
not,
can you add more value?
Yeah.
Remember, how can you bring the lumbar support and the cloud technology?
the question is not about how do I ask for more money. It's how do I bring more value and present that? Because that's what your bosses are thinking.
Mhm.
What problems are you solving? Yeah.
And hey, this is where you have to be confident in your ability. If you have brought products to market and you know how to do it and you know how to generate lots of money and you're very confident through the interview process, they're much more likely to give you a bigger offer. And it's probably a lot more easier to negotiate. And you're a lot more confident in yourself because you already know, hey, I'm going to come into this company. We're going to launch these products. And I know that I'm going to generate $50 million for this company. There's no doubt in my mind. Right. So a lot of it is being confident in yourself and your ability too. And if you're not confident in your ability, number one, get more skills. And if you have the skills and you're not confident, you're just going to have to work that out in yourself.
I always tell our clients, especially ones that don't know what they want to target, like industry wise, or like they know they want to get out of the industry that they're in or whatever. I once read in the book, The Startup of You with by Reid Hoffman.
Founders of LinkedIn.
Yeah. And this seems so obvious, but the way he worded it really stuck with me, which is looking at your career like you're an investor. So you're looking for, you're looking at your career as like you're an investor. So you're going to target industries then that are paying out the most, just like an investor. So my question to you, I don't know if you have any data on this recently with our current offers, et cetera. But what are some industries that the offers are coming in hot and high and on point? Like what? I know that's a loaded question because if you're doing all the targeting right and you're following the appropriate systems, you're going to be able to maximize your offers across all industries. But have you seen some recently that are like
everyone in technology gets paid more? It is what it is. Sorry.
So
tech companies, if they have some type of software product, those are the biggest companies right now paying the most money. Why? Because their margins are so huge, right? If your margins are huge, you can pay people more.
Now that's like become obvious to everyone at this point. I'd hope technology, but what's the second to that?
Financial services, where the most money is next.
What about third?
Lots of different ones, but I would say tech and then financial services. And there's probably just lots of companies that fall into number 3. But remember this too, because we're big on investing in ourselves. Okay. You also have to make sense of this, right? So this is another reason you needed to join our program to get help if you're looking for another job. Are you investing in yourself? Are you investing in mentors? Because a lot of people out there want people to pay them 300, 400, 500K. And they ain't even invest them in themselves, man. So if you get into that offer stage and you all uneasy, right? You're uneasy about it. You're subconsciously, should I ask for this? Should I do this? You know why that probably is, because you're likely not investing into yourself. And I don't mean a mentor to get a job. I mean a mentor to get better at communication, a mentor to get better at leadership, a mentor to get better at technology, at marketing, at whatever your domain specific is. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't invest into themselves.
Well, and then of course, Tim and I always go back to this, which is all of the other ways you're living your life and approaching leadership. I mean, you have to be pretty sharp to make those big bucks.
Hey,
there's a few, you've got your fragments of people and the percent of people that somehow, and I know you guys know these people that they climb the ranks and they're making $500,000 and you're just looking at them like, how did you even get here? Because you can barely have a conversation.
They probably got help. No one successful ever got them by themselves. They've had typically multiple things. And here's the thing. The higher you go, the more competitive it gets. If you're at the 300K, if you're 250, 300 right now, dude, it's competitive, man. Everyone has their degree. Everyone probably has their MBA. Everyone has a track record of success. Everyone paid for a resume. Now what? Right? So a couple questions. Go back to the application stage when companies ask for a salary on a form and it's fill in the blank. What should you do not to pigeonhole yourself? Here's the thing. Here's where I always joke and say, hey, this was from Facebook, by the way. Here's when I always joke and say, I don't know how much they want me to work. Right? So it's kind of like, hey, do you want to be paid more if you have to work 40 hours or 60 hours, or do you want to be paid the same? If you have to take a call at 3:00 in the morning one time a week in India, do you want to be paid a little more? So that's why it's so hard to answer on the front end. So, hey, best practice is this. Give a big range. So for instance, say I'm targeting 150K. Hey, 120 to 190. That would be my range on a salary app. Okay. And for all the people that says, oh, I can only enter one number. Hey, then put what you want to make. It's okay. But I would encourage you not to apply online, because everyone applying at your level, if you're listening to this podcast, has paid in between $500 to $2,000 for a resume and optimized LinkedIn profile. And that's your competition. So everyone has a good resume. So why would you spend all of this time going on these job sites? That's why in the Exec Upgrades program, on the career one, we focus on getting you in front of people that can actually hire you so you can have conversations, so you don't even have to put all of this salary block information in. Hopefully that helps. Should we ever accept an offer if promised a 3-month review to potentially increase the salary? Everything's different. That's hard for me to answer.
Well,
Here's why.
we would go back to Tim's questions, which would be, how excited are you about the company?
Exactly. How excited are you? Why are we waiting 90 days?
Yeah,
Are they skeptical in your ability already? Hey, is this a chance to prove myself, right? Are they, maybe it's a newly created position and the founders are like, hey, we kind of want to bring someone in. Maybe it's a contractor thing. So yeah, I would say in some situations that's completely okay. Would we get it into an agreement? Yeah.
But in what case would it be not okay? If you're not excited, you already pretty much hated the interviews. You wouldn't want to get yourself into that situation if you were not super excited and if you didn't get clear answers.
Guys,
a clear path to the most ideal salary.
Please be excited at the next company you're going to work at, that you're going to commit 8 to 12 freaking hours a day at. Please be minimally excited. Otherwise, don't take it unless you're financially strained or something. That's like saying, hey, just get into this really unhealthy relationship right now because, Kristina, you don't like being alone. So just find someone as quickly as possible, even if it's unhealthy.
It's funny, like over the years with just hiring just people in like our inner workings of just like our support systems and stuff. Like I used to be somebody that would want to like get more for less. And I'm like, yeah, I would present offers, honestly, like the one that you're talking about, because I would be interested to see how is this person. And now I'm like dialed into everything we talk about, even in other circumstances, which is like, present your value, solve my problems, understand me. Like, let's get aligned. Let's dig deeper. Let's make sure it's really, really good on the front end. And then it makes it really easy. It makes it so easy to make a more appropriate offer and then bring somebody in feeling, adequately compensated, which immediately sets them up for success, and their performance is off the charts because they already feel really good. So that's also another question. It's like, if you accept an offer like that, that to me sounds like anxiety. It's like you go into it and you feel like, okay, I'm trying to impress everybody. I'm already kind of underpaid and not a clear path here. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why 2 things I want to talk about. And then we got some more questions too. But number 1, that's why I want to pay the most, man. I want to pay the most. Yeah. If you are looking for a mentor, pay the most, right? My example is, let's take, for instance, you own an NFL team right now. You're going to try to nickel and dime your way to the Super Bowl? You're going to try to find the cheapest coach? You're going to try to find the cheapest players? Why would you do that?
The nanny thing. I'm going to expose Tim for a second. He's giving me a hard time about my nanny budget. So tell me, it's the same thing with a mentor, but it's your child, right? Like, we're going to pay nannies.
Yeah.
You pay the most.
Hey, be a nanny. You could make $120K a year.
I brought our business online here.
Hopefully they know some marketing.
I saw an
Here's
ad
what we're
that-
going to do. You can do the nanny, but when you travel with us, you are now our social media part of our
She
content
said she would.
creation team. But hold on one sec.
hang on, I saw
There's
an ad.
another thing I wanted to go over. So number one, hey,
Okay.
pay the most. Pay the most to people when you're hiring them, right? Give above average salaries. This is just a best practice, okay? Because here's why. It comes back to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
That's
when
what I
you
meant.
invest in yourself, in your career, and you make big investments, it's easier to subconsciously get bigger, returns on them. And number two, hey, fair offers. What's a fair offer? You also don't want to, contrary to popular belief, you don't want to nickel and dime someone, right? And get like the most you can out of a company. Because here's why. If you're nickeling and diming someone, you're starting that relationship off on this person better deliver because we wanted them, but they ask for so much. They ask for the world, So that puts a lot of pressure on the relationship, like when you're just starting. So my best advice is this. We work for our clients here at ECU and we want everyone to do well, right? But the best relationship is when Kristina Madden thinks she's getting a fair deal and the company thinks they're getting a fair deal. Therefore, we can start off on a very healthy relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? To where if I'm the company and I'm lowballing her and she accepts, dude, that's not good. Now,
That's abuse.
That's abuse. And it's the same thing if Christina's like asking for ridiculous stuff when she hasn't built the value to constitute to that, So, hey, start a relationship off that way. A couple more questions. If you're coming from owning and running a company recently sold where most of the compensation was tied to equity to an in-house position, what's the way to shift positioning towards cash compensation bonuses? If you're coming from equity to it's hard to answer. Everything's different. Obviously, if you join a startup, you may get a lesser base, but then you might get more of a return on the upside. That's why people that are seasoned, who have 20 years of experience and have been a chief, a CRO at a mid-sized company, why would they ever join a startup with 5 people when they've managed 500 people? It doesn't make sense. Of course,
some people say that though a lot.
Well, of course that person would probably get a lesser base salary, but they get more on the upside in terms of equity, profit sharing, etc. So I would ask you, if you're coming from owning and running a company, here's your solutions. How can we get more towards cash comp, commissions, bonuses? Probably join a startup. If you're looking for high commissions, bonuses, more things on the upside, hey, probably join another startup with your experience and help them get to where you were or beyond, or maybe you just manage a specific department. If you're looking for some huge upside, don't go to Microsoft, right? That's very structured, red tape, has lots of policies and procedures.
I might have you wrap up, Tim, because I have my 1:00 mindset session with our clients.
Yep. Last question, shifting from equity as primary wealth building compensation to salary and commissions. Good question. Hey, I need more clarity. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Every deal's different, right? Because number one, remember, ask yourself, do I even want to work here? Let's wrap up on this, right? Me and Dee meet with so many people, right? When we get to salary negotiation, and here's what they say. They want to go in to this long story about the offer, about the money, no matter if it's 100K or 500K, the offer, all this weeks of vacation, RSUs. And I literally say this, hey, Kristina, do you even want to work there? Do you even like your boss? Do you even like what you want to do? Tim, to be honest with you, I'm not happy about the company. I'm not happy about this, not happy about this. Then why are we negotiating? So, hey, when we're talking about equity to wealth, or you're coming from a startup to here, hey, question number one, do you even want to work there?
Well, I don't know, Tim. I'm on the fence.
Hey, that's why I think for 2K, we do salary. We help people negotiate their salary, just FYI.
Well,
we have a salary.
You learn exactly how to do it. So you can
and then we help you too. We negotiate a deal too. We do that for
negotiate a deal.
$2,000. We negotiate one deal and we show you our process. So for some of you that don't need tremendous help, right? If you just want help analyzing your deal, getting it over the finish line, maybe getting in a little more money, sign-on bonus, cash, whatever. Hey, that's what we charge to negotiate a deal. We'll get you more money. Until next week.
2,000 for a little confidence.
Yeah. Hey, until next week, thank you for tuning in to the Executive Career Upgrades podcast. And do us a favor, go over to Apple Podcasts. For the love of God. Hey, take 2 to 3 minutes, show your support. We appreciate you. We will see you next week.